Lesson number one, my country people, Dr. Waiting. Listen, whether or not you accept my country people is a force to reckon with. Me, I agree. He's an enemy that is strong. So we got to be technical to what they do. We thank my country people for this wonderful job. Now, we'll go ahead.
So, number 8 for here, paragraph 8, the talk say, the chairman invited members of the committee to put questions to the United Kingdom delegation, which would reply to them at a later meeting. So this one be interesting. Mr. Abikusno of Indonesia, it be observed that according to Mr. Endele, the two most important issues connected with the plebiscite were the alternatives to be put to the people and the qualifications of those to be entitled to vote. The government and the opposition parties were apparently divided on the subject of those two basic issues, and Mr. Endele had remarked at the 885th meeting that the parties could change places at any time in the life of the legislature. He therefore wished to ask Mr. Endele whether he would prefer those two issues to be considered when there was a more stable government, and whether he would accept any decisions adopted by the General Assembly which might be contrary to the wishes of his party. So what way Mr. Endele be informed the United Nations now say for Southern Cameroons, when we Endele be elected the premier, if we get a very slim majority way, it means say at any time they get another election and they go on city and the opposition it could become the party in power. And now exactly what way it be happen when we Endele it be unseated and then John Gofoncha it win for be the premier, and John Gofoncha it be win by a very slim majority as well, where it means say it be volatile. The leadership it not get enough mandate for it do whatever they want to do, because at any moment the opposition if it take power. Now wait that way it the explainer. So for paragraph 10 for here the talk say, on the subject of voters' qualifications, Mr. Endele had said that it would be most undemocratic to seek to disenfranchise Nigerians and persons from the Cameroons under French administration who were residing in the southern Cameroons and had referred to Nigeria and Cameroons under French administration as future neighbors on whom the southern Cameroons might have to depend for trade and other purposes. So, like the Tockham, the biggest problem, their disagreement, it will be now the two questions for POSAM to the people at the plebiscite, and also who will qualify for vote. For Endele own political calculation, ABCM say it be not to ye advantage if they allow Nigerians for vote and people the way they come out from the former and people the way they come out from the Cameroons under French administration, because it knows say they get more Nigerians where they live in that territory than people the way they come out from the French Cameroons. So Endele be make the political calculation say if they allow the Nigerians to be allowed to vote, then it go fit combat or it go fit bump up the numbers the way it need them for drag that territory into Nigeria. Because if you understand say the Southwesterners them now a minority and the Northwesterners they get bigger population. So now one of the calculations that we be make them for say me they allow Nigerians for vote and also people the way they come out from the French Cameroon, because they know say the people the way they come out from French Cameroons now a tiny few, even if they vote compared to the number of Nigerians where they go vote, it could be advantageous for ye political situation. Say it go vote, the vote it go be in favor of joining Nigeria. So now wait that way it be the calculate on, and now wait that way it be put them to the United Nations. So now you see paragraph 13 for day the talk saying Mr. Kwaisong Saki of Ghana. Remember, I said Ghana we don't be independent since 1957. So these deliberations now for 1959, Ghana we don't be a member of the United Nations, and also Guinea be independent for 1958. So some of these conversations then you could get representatives from Ghana and Guinea where they go be in the committee meeting for United Nations General Assembly where they go also give their own input. So make we listen to what way the representative from Ghana be talk. He say the statements made at the committee gave the impression that the people of Southern Cameroons were as yet not sufficiently politically articulated to understand the meaning of a plebiscite. This one now the biggest disgrace, and I will let von Goji Dinka explain them later on, because it will tell now the biggest disgrace. This one now an African representative, an African delegate for United Nations General Assembly. It talks say the people then for the British Southern Cameroons, they never even be politically sufficient enough to understand the meaning of a plebiscite. You know the talk say, you know the debate whether were people they be ready for independence. And the talk say these people they not even be sufficiently articulate enough to understand where to be plebiscite. You see, these are historical documents from the archives of the United Nations. I did not write these things. If I give una my opinion, it be based on the facts and the reality where I present them to una. This one that the representative from Ghana, it talks that the people of Southern Cameroon were as yet not sufficiently politically articulate to understand the meaning of a plebiscite. He desired to ask the United Kingdom representative, firstly, whether he could testify to the ability of the people of the Southern Cameroons to decide their own future, and secondly, whether he thought that the people understood the meaning of a plebiscite, and thirdly, whether he could say what had been the consensus of opinion at the plebiscite conference on the questions which should be put to the voters at the plebiscite and on the persons who should be entitled to vote. This damning statement coming from another African country telling the United Nations, say maybe these people they don't even understand what to be plebiscite, let alone say these people they fit be independent on their own. It comes as a result of the infighting, serious infighting between Ndele and John Good Foncha. The Northwest Southwest divide, the Bamenda people versus the Forest people. Now you make them the biggest disgrace. Before I bring in lawyer Goji Dinka, the person where he come up with the name Ambazonia, he can't talk, he make them clear for una to understand. But before I bring it on, when I listen to this paragraph 14, it talks say, it continue now the Ghanaian representative, it talks say, it could be glad if Mr. Foncha go explain whether in saying that the future of the territory should be determined at a later date, he had any definite timetable in mind. So now this Ghanaian official, it vex, it scratch your head, say, we the African people, they talk, say, we don't want Europeans, we don't want colonialism, we want to be free, we be matured enough to handle our own decisions. But here is a unique situation of an African political leader. It come for United Nations, can't talk say it want colonialism, make it extend further because of their own infighting. It talks say now John Good Foncha, it can't talk for United Nations, say they want the United Nations, they want the United Kingdom for continue the trusteeship agreement until a later date. So now the Ghanaian representative, they ask, he said, do you even know what the later date is? What is your timetable? A later date, is it 1 week? Is it another 100 years? Jongo Foncha don't know it. Now the people in this way, when I think say they will be ready for independence. As a matter of fact, so now this paragraph number 17 now from the representative from Venezuela, Mr. Zuloga, it talks, it get 2 questions for Putam, and it could leave them whether now Foncha it could reply, or now Mr. Ndele could reply, or now the United Kingdom administrative or representative it could reply. It no mind, but it want for put these 2 questions there, made the reply. So it go on for ask this question. It say, since agreement had not been reached on the 2 questions to be asked in the plebiscite, they wonder whether it would not be possible for 3 questions to be put. When I see them, 3 questions. Now the representative from Venezuela, they ask now about giving them a 3rd option. Even begging these people, they now beg them, they beg Ndele, they beg Foncha, say, make una go for a 3rd option. Go for a 3rd option. Go, una go be independent on una own. You see, there were discussions for a third option. He asked and said, would it not be possible for 3 questions to be put? The question should be as simple as possible. The first alternative offered might be unification with Cameroon under French administration. The second is integration with Nigeria. And the third, independence. This one, now the representative from Venezuela. It suggests, say, why are we here talking about 2 alternatives? Why not the third option of total independence without Nigeria, without Cameroon? Why are we not talking about this? So when I see I'm saying this, so the lies where Anglophones, they can't talk to themselves, they have to stop. No blame the Francophones, no blame France, no blame anybody else. The people the way you need for blame them now, Foncha and Endele. There were possibilities for the third option if they fought for it. If they be asked for the third option, they would have got it. And I go bring in Fon Goji Dinka. I go explain for una some of the things the way they be transpire. So you see, the third option, now the delegate for Venezuela, they ask. So now, you see, I'm now say paragraph 20, Mr. Lorange from Hungary, he would like for ask Mr. Foncha and Mr. Endele to inform the committee whether discussions had been or were being carried out or carried on between the representatives of the Southern Cameroons and representatives of the Cameroons under French administration on the possible future status of the territory in the event of unification. So another thing you could say and say throughout this document, the international community, for example, that part from Hungary, they talk about unification. Everywhere they talk about unification or reunification. So the Johnny come lately, separatists, the so-called Amba, they will come today. Talk said they go school the United Nations. Said there was no unification. We will not feel unite because we don't ever be a part of them. So they want to rewrite these documents them. The only way for una for rewrite them now for build a time machine, travel back in time, go change every single word where they will discuss them for these committees and for United Nations for 1959. That's the only way. The document, the right way safety, unification. So this part from Hungary, it could also ask, he would also like to know whether discussions had been or were being held with representatives of Nigeria on the possibility or the possible future status of the territory in the event of integration. He would also ask blah 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 blah. And then now see now this next statement. I'm not going to stay long for this document. So paragraph 21 talks saying, in his statement at the 885th meeting, Mr. Foncha had asserted that the KNC and KPP alliance, basically Endele and Mbile, their alliance, they be wish, say, reunification with the French Cameroon to be included as an alternative question in the plebiscite because they be hope, say, the terrorist murders in French Cameroons, it go frighten the people into voting for integration with Nigeria. So ma explain afuna. The 2 alternatives, they will be na integration or reunification. The 2 alternatives will be na integration or unification. Integration means joining Nigeria. Unification means reuniting with Cameroon. So John Go Foncha be the play on the calculation, say, no one tell the people them say they could join French Cameroon. If you just want me to put the question in the plebiscite, say, may they secede from Nigeria. And then later on, join Cameroon. Because at that time, there was serious terrorist activity in French Cameroon. So, Mbile and Endele, their calculation be been and say, may they tell the people them the whole truth. Say, we are not just seceding from Nigeria. The point of seceding from Nigeria is to join with French Cameroon. Because the Mbile and Endele, their calculation between us, say, if they tell the people that for Southern Cameroon, say they could join French Cameroon, it would scare them. They would be afraid of the Makiza war. so that they could go join Nigeria instead. You see the political calculations. Now why that way Foncha be the talk say no, make we not talk say we could join French Cameroon just yet. Make we just secede from Nigeria, come out from Nigeria, and then decide the joining with French Cameroon at a later date. Now why that way the representative from Ghana, and they ask is what later date are you talking about? You want to extend the trusteeship agreement, you want to extend colonialism, while we're in Mbile and Endele, and they ask the people, they say, may they put that question for reunification immediately, where it means say, if we come out from Nigeria, means that we join Cameroon one time. Because their calculation between us say, if they talk so, plenty people they go fear. Because they be the key people them for French Cameroon, cut their head and pin them on top stick, like how Amber terrorists they do for our territory today. And when people they hear all those stories, them it will frighten them. So Mbile and Endele, the KPP and the KMC, they be talk say, make them put them down, say secession from Nigeria means reunification with Cameroon immediately. So now this representative, if they ask Mr. Foncha how far the events during the previous year in French Cameroon had influenced the public opinions in the southern Cameroons, and to what extent they could be expected to affect the voting of the plebiscite. So now this person wants to know whether the terrorist atrocities them in French Cameroon, it don't affect public opinion inside the former British Southern Cameroons. No mind the Johnny come lately where they can't talk nonsense, say United Nations up, United Nations down. Many of them never ever read these documents, and because they don't get the time. First of all, some of them are illiterate. You understand? They don't get the time to go find these documents and understand the true history, what really happened. It'd be easier for Anglophone man for just blame Probia, just blame Aijo. Everything will happen. Anglophone man is shitting his smell. Just blame someone else. But the truth and the reality say now what people them, their incompetence, their stupidity, their infighting between the Bakwere tribe, the Southwesterners and the Northwesterners them. Now ye bring we who's away with day today, and I go come can explain for now the dynamics and the political calculations where people they still make them till today. It stem from this reality. So you see this last paragraph here where I want to read down for una, it just explain which way be happen for una for talk about the incompetence and the stupidity of our people them. So now this one now Mr. Sidi Baba from Morocco, it ask whether in the opinion of the Cameroonian authorities, it talk now Endele, Muna and Foncha and Mbile, it ask the Cameroonian authorities or the administering authority when at the United Kingdom, the British, it asked them if it would be possible for the people then for Southern Cameroons to choose some other alternative other than association with Nigeria or unification with the Cameroons under French administration. It asked for the third option, a third alternative. So now the second time this for this one document, we don't hear the other person from Venezuela. He asked the one for Ghana talk. Now then the one for Morocco. It asked, what about a third alternative? What about independence on your own? Why are we not talking about that? Why are you not fighting for independence? Why are we here talking about Nigeria or Cameroon? Why not talk about how? Explain about how you can be independent on your own. Talk about your economic activity, the potential in your territory, what you can bring to bear, your unity, how you will work together. Endele Foncha Muna, everyone working together towards nation building. Why are we not talking about that? Why are we not talking about an alternative solution rather than association with Nigeria or unification with Cameroon? Why are we not talking about a third alternative? He asked this question to Endele, to Foncha, to the British. You would be very surprised to hear their responses. None of them no be consider say that territory to be viable for be independent on your own. Capo and don't already tell una what way Foncha be talk. Una listen to the person, the father of Ambazonia, the person where he bring this name, say Ambazonia, Fongum Gojidinka from Widikum. He go explain something for now. The disgrace where our forefathers them they give way. No mean that today start. The lies the way they come on can tell we in the past few years them. Now just for cover their own shame, their own ineptitude, their infighting and stupidity. Now why that way they can't lie for Anglophones them, for bringing Ambazonia terrorism.